So it's official. Sindalah Island at Neom has opened its doors.
Let's go.
Sindalah Island is the first Neom project to open doors, and a handpicked selection of guests have gotten the first glimpse of it, which is really exciting. So Sindalah Island is a development within the Neom Giga project that is off the coast of Saudi Arabia in the Red Sea. It's one of eventually a dozen or dozens of actually luxurious high-end destinations planned for the area in the northwest part of Saudi Arabia. Sindalah has ultra-luxury hotels, plenty of access for yachts. The yachts that I have seen on my social media that were already there are insane. Right? Yeah, it's crazy. I'm like, who are these people? A golf course, pristine beaches, and a lot more. Marriott has several hotels there already. And, there's been a lot of celebrities there for the opening. So there is a person that works for Neom that I see regularly in the UK. It's a British person. And he was really skeptical. He's like, I don't really know who's going to come to this opening. And I'm like, well, you know what? A week later, I'm now looking at my social media and plenty of people have gone to the opening. The chairman of Robbie was there with his sons for the opening. Hamid Turki, producer in Hollywood, was there. So very cool. It was his feed really that I was looking at because I don't really scroll social media for too long, but there are people I know that just come up. So there was some footage of them with Will Smith, which was pretty cool.
That's awesome. Will Smith was just there as well for that film thing. I don't know what.
Yeah, what was it called? I don't think so. You can go back and forth quite easily, can't you?
I guess, yeah.
So it's so cool. And I just this is the thing. Whenever I say Neom, people think of the line. And I'm like, no, guys, it's like a region. It's a really big part of the Northwest. And there's so much that's going to be there. It's not just one place. And so I think people really have this misconception. But I think the line made a lot of headlines. But Neom is big. It's a whole area. And so much is planned for it. And this island that is off the coast is now the first to have its grand opening, which is very exciting.
It's so exciting. And it's interesting because I get the same thing about Neom. It's like, oh yeah, that 109 kilometer building that's in the shape of a line that just seems impossible to build. But it's interesting because it's like the resorts like Sindalah and some of these other ones, Trojena, I always mess that up, is in the mountains where they'll host the 2029 Asian Winter Games ski resort in Saudi Arabia. Those seem kind of, those don't get as many headlines at all as the line. The line is just like, what? Really? Whereas these things are also cool. You glanced over it in a New York second, but the golf course that they're building, I don't know if it's done yet, looks absolutely sick. Definitely next year golf bucket list for me. I'm going to try to make that happen if they finish it. And I saw the same stuff online, Dr. Hannah. There was one from this LinkedIn influencer that I'm friends with who is there. And he's been showing sort of pictures from it nonstop. The pictures look awesome. It looks finished. It looks cool. And it looks like a really awesome resort. Of course, you have these insane Red Sea, beaches all around it. Obviously, it's an island. So they're trying to compete maybe with the Maldives, and they're trying to keep Saudis, as we have talked about many times, tourism. They want to keep them local. Of course, it's amazing because maybe you got the invite. I didn't get the invite. It must have gotten lost in the mail. Sometimes that happens from Saudi to the US. But anyway, this influencer shared this, I guess it's I don't know what you would use in Saudi, but there's apps where you can see all the boats around you and how deep the water is. And it was just 80 yachts all around Sindalah Island, all named. It looked insane. And then we talked a little bit about this, Hannah, in the deep dive, but there's been a little bit of a pivot. Saudis really want, American finance dudes, Western finance dudes, Chinese finance dudes to come in, not just looking for capital partnerships for Saudi money to invest at home, but also to show investment opportunities local in Saudi Arabia. And this is part of this big rollout party that they had. We didn't get invited to, of an exclusive bash is what Bloomberg called it. But this is part of that, they're kind of showing that Neom has traction, even if it's just one of their many, many developments that they're doing there. It's like, hey, look, like we're doing this. If you want to go see the project that we're making on Oxagam or the line, we're just a stone's throw away, but like we're getting things done here. This is not just a dream. This is starting to become reality. And these are good investment opportunities. They would tell these guys. So yeah, I mean, good timing too ahead of FII. So yeah, I think this is interesting.
Just a last point on that. I was in Neom about, how long has it been now? Like 5 years ago. And they hadn't really built a whole lot. There was already the airport. There were a couple of already kind of existing hotels, but you could just see like this is part of the Red Sea that is just as beautiful as what a lot of people are familiar with across the Red Sea in Egypt, but pristine and untouched. So, and one of their biggest kind of, I think, goals is to keep it as pristine as possible. That's the appeal, right? That's why people will come, is because it's part of the Red Sea that has just been kind of hidden for such a long time. And the corals there, the coastline, the color of the water and the sand, it's just absolutely amazing. So yeah, maybe they're trying to compete with the Maldives, but I think they have their own thing going for them. And so it's actually really exciting.